So, how does a city completely reinvent itself? I mean, really change its whole identity? Manchester is, wow, what a fascinating case study. It was once the world's industrial powerhouse, right? But now it's a major player in a totally different league. We're going to dig into how it pulled off one of the most incredible turnarounds you'll ever see. Just look at this contrast. On one hand, you've got the world's very first industrial city. They literally called it Cottonopolis. And on the other, a cutting-edge, modern hub for media, tech, and finance. That's the whole story right there. But, the big question is, how? How does a city built on smokestacks and textile mills become so good at something so different? Yeah, this journey from mills to media, it's really a masterclass in how a city can reinvent itself. See, Manchester didn't just, survive when its old industries faded away. No way. It pivoted, and it pivoted hard, right into the knowledge economy of the 21st century. And a huge piece of that new identity is Media City UK. You've got to think of this place as more than just a bunch of fancy buildings. It's like this powerful magnet for talent and money. I mean, when you get giants like the BBC and ITV to move in, you're not just creating jobs, you're literally creating a whole new economic landscape for the entire region. Okay, so this reinvention wasn't just about culture or image. It lit a fire under the economy, creating this absolutely massive boom. And when you look at the numbers, well, they tell a pretty incredible story. 60 billion pounds. Let that sink in for a second. That's the value of Manchester's economy today. Seriously, outside of London, it is one of the biggest economic engines in the entire UK. That one number, it just perfectly captures the staggering scale of the city's comeback. So what's fueling that 60 billion pound engine? Well, it's people. You've got over 100,000 students in the city's universities. That creates this constant, fresh stream of talent and new ideas feeding right into those growing industries. It makes for a super vibrant, skilled workforce. But, and there's always a but, right? This incredible growth story, it does have a flip side. And that brings us to the really crucial question here. When a city grows this fast, this much, does everyone actually get to share in the success? Is it working for everyone? Well, as you can probably guess, the answer is it's complicated. Because, underneath that shiny surface of regeneration and all those new glass towers, Manchester's dealing with some pretty serious challenges. The very speed of its success has actually created some deep divisions right inside the city. And the biggest challenge, the central issue, is growing inequality. As all this new money floods into the city, it just isn't reaching everybody. And that gap between the people who are doing really well and those who are struggling, it's gotten a lot wider. You can really see this economic divide laid out pretty clearly here. The city center, it's this thriving hub of investment and opportunity. But in a lot of the surrounding neighborhoods, it's a completely different story. It's like all the benefits of the boom are concentrated in one spot, and that's leaving a lot of other places behind. And you know where this inequality is most obvious? Housing. It's always housing, isn't it? As demand to live in the city center has just skyrocketed, guess what happened to house prices and rent? Yep, they shot up too. And this has pushed affordable places to live right out of reach for so many people who've lived there for years. It's really a classic side effect of this kind of rapid urban growth. And you can literally feel the strain of all the success. The city is now wrestling with just brutal traffic jams during rush hour. Air pollution is a growing problem, and there's huge pressure on basic services, like waste management. Throw in an increased risk of flooding from extreme weather, and what you have are the classic growing pains of a city that's booming faster than its own infrastructure can handle. But here's the thing about Manchester. It's not just sitting back and letting these problems get worse. The city is being really proactive here. They're actively trying to forge a new path forward with a pretty clear strategy to create a future that's more balanced and, well, more sustainable for everyone who lives there. So what's the plan? Well, it's got a few key parts. First, they're taking old industrial areas and regenerating them, building new housing and creating jobs. Second, they're expanding their public transport. That's the Metrolink tram system, to get people better connected and less reliant on cars. And third, they're really pushing for sustainable development to tackle those environmental challenges head-on. So, yeah, Manchester's story is definitely not over. Its next chapter is really all about this delicate balancing act. How do you keep that incredible economic engine running while also making sure there's fairness and a good quality of life for every single person who calls the city home? This quote from our source material really just sums it all up perfectly. Manchester demonstrates how a city can successfully transition while still facing challenges related to inequality, housing, and environmental sustainability. It's both things at once, a massive success story, but also a real-time case study of the tough challenges that come along for the ride. And that really leaves us with the ultimate question, not just for Manchester, but for successful cities all over the world. Can a city be both prosperous and fair? Manchester's ongoing journey to figure that out, well, that's a story we should all be watching. Thanks for joining me for this one.